Hey guys, what's up? It's Dardan here, and welcome to my ultimate Next guide. It's exactly been 1 year since Next came out, and what not better to celebrate by making a most up-to-date guide of it. So I hope you guys enjoy. First up we have is what is Next. So basically in this part I will tell a bit information about Next and her minions. Secondly, we have requirements and setup, so this will tell you a bit of the requirements that you'll be needing to go to Next and what kind of armor you have to wear. Thirdly is a small guide on how to get the frozen key in order to go in the ancient prison. Then I will be doing a full Next kill with sounds and showing you guys what the best tactics are in a team. There will be annotation links on the screen so you can skip throughout the content if you already know a part or you just don't care. Next is a level 1001 boss NPC, with being at the moment the strongest boss in RuneScape. You can find Next in the ancient prison in the God Wars dungeon. She is the general boss of the god Zeros, and she has over 30k life points and even heals over the time. She is immune to poison and also to stat draining weapons because she restores it immediately. Next has 15 special attacks, which a few of them can hit up to 750 damage. She also has 5 phases, and each phase represents one of the minions in the chamber and the last one of her god. Next switches on the phases once she hits 1/5 of her life points and so on. The phases she uses in order are Smoke, which represent the minion Fumus, Shadow, which represent the minion Umbra, Loot, which present the minion Cruel, and Ice, which is from the minion Glacius. And the last phase is a Zar's phase, and at that point her combat stats are boosted and she uses Soul Split and also Deflect Melee. All the minions are level 285 combat, and they also all have 6k life points. They all also attack with magic, so if you are using Protect from magic you should be fine, except for at Glacius. He can still freeze you even if you are praying mage. Each minion has low def, so you can easily kill them with range or melee. This concludes the information about Next, and I will get more into about the special attacks later on the killing guide. In order to kill a really high level boss, you obviously are going to need some high level stats and equipment. First up we have the level requirements, and you'll need a pretty high combat level to kill Next. But it always depends on the type of team, but for most teams you'll be needing 99 attack, 99 defense, 99 strength, 99 constitution or hit points, 96 summoning in order to summon a Pack-Yak and a Unicorn, and it's really advised you have this because there are hardly teams who accept only Tortoise. And prayer, it depends, but 99 is advised. Also for magic is not used, but in order to not tank a lot you'll be needing 99 magic to survive the whole kill, and you'll be needing also 99 range, but this also depends on type of team. You also need 96 herb lore in order to make overload potions, and you also can do this on 90 herb lore if you have a stew to boost it up. And also finally you'll need 70 agility to get the frozen key piece at Saradomin. Don't forget, if you don't have all these levels it doesn't mean that you can't go Next, but these levels are just a requirement for most of the teams that you can find on the forums. And yeah, so next up we go to the setup. So there are basically 3 types of setups, with the first being Void, but I don't recommend doing this because people with Void only go to mass teams and it isn't that profitable in the end, so I won't make a part of this. But the second type of gear people use at Next is Armadillo, and so we start off first with the normal Armadillo setup. So this is a basic Armadillo setup. Firstly we have our Armadillo helmet, then the chest plate, and then the chain skirt, so that's obvious. Then we have the Avas alerter. You can either downgrade this by a Avas accumulator or upgrade it by a completion escape, but not everyone has it. So then we go to the Carrot crossbow. This is pretty much a must-have in Reqs, but you can also downgrade it by a run crossbow, but there are not a lot of teams who allow it, so a guided crossbow, which is 200k tokens. Then we have the Eagle Eye Kite Shield. This is also a pretty much needed item in Reqs. You can also either have a Spectral, but a Eagle Eye is better since it has magic absorb and also more range bonus. You can either upgrade it by a Divine or a Malicious if you have it. Then we go to the gloves. Barrow's gloves, pretty much everyone has these. You can either upgrade it by a Dominion Tower Goliath gloves, and then we have the boots. I have Glaven at the moment, but not everybody can also afford it, so Ranger are optional, or maybe Infinity boots, but that doesn't have any range bonus. Then we have the Archer ring. You can, if you don't have imbued, I suggest you get imbued rings or just get the Archer ring. You can upgrade it by a Onyx ring, which is the best ring to go to Reqs. And this sums it up for our basic Armadale setup and our diamond bolts and our wood bolts. So now we have our pro Reqs setup, which is with full Pernix. Obviously the Pernix cowl, the Pernix body and the Pernix abs. Also Pernix gives a plus 400 life points boost. So that means if you brew more than normal. I think you'll heal about 50 life points more out one sip of brew. And also same goes with Unicorn, you heal about 200 for one scroll instead of 150. So that's the main advantage if you have Pernix. Then we have our Completion Escape. So that's the best cape in order to Reqs with. And yeah, the Divine for the soaking damage, it's really useful. Obviously the Goliath gloves, and I suggest you take Goliath instead of the Swift, because Swift gives negative attack stats, and also the special effect of Swift gloves isn't worth it, and then they only have 1 plus more range attack, so it isn't really worth it at Reqs. Glaven boots and the Onyx ring, so this sums it up for the pro Reqs outfit. Oh yeah, also Fury is obviously a must at either Armadale setup and also for the Pernix setup. And I forgot to say that in my Completion Escape there is an inbuilt Avas function, so it does retrieve my bolts, and it also has a Spirit Cave function, which is also really useful at Reqs. Also, in order to go to the next room without having to get kill count, you're better off buying a full ceremonial set, which you can buy easily from GE for about 500k for the full set. With that, it allows you to go in the next room without getting 40 kill count, which is really useful. And it also has an emote, which I'll show you guys right now. Go. Yeah, that's the emote. And besides that, the set is cosmetic, so it doesn't have any other stat bonus. Also, when going to Reqs, you have to be on normal prayers, and then either you must have the Rigor prayer bot. You can buy this from the Dungeoneering reward guy. I think it costs like 150k, not sure about this. But yeah, it's the best range prayer because it increases your range by 20% and also defense by 25%. And if you don't have that, you can just use Eagle Eye, which is 15%. So that is still more than using Cursed Praise, which only has plus 5 leech range, which goes over time by 10, but still not the highest. So normal prayers are also a must if you go to Reqs. So a inventory really depends on what your gear is and also how you do Reqs. So let's take for example, if you take a lot of damage at Shadow because you can't avoid the attacks, you'll be needing some more brews, but it's always different for everybody else. But what I usually take is my yak. I empty all my brews in my inventory. I deposit 2. Then I summon my yak. I stuff him full with brews and the 2 super stores. Then I take a few more super stores. So I fill them up with that. So then I take my dragon gloves. Oh yeah, dragon gloves are a must. Obviously, since you have to spec at next, dragon gloves is a must, and if you don't have it, you probably will be kicked from the team. So that's a definitely must. Then we have the spirit cape, which is already in my completions cape, but not everybody has it. But this is really useful because it allows you to reduce your familiar points. So if you're on unicorn, it reduces your points from 20 till 16, I think. Yeah, 16. So really useful. You can spec more. So what I always do is, if you are on basically in 6-man team, or 4, I take 3 overloads, and with that I also take 3 prayer rune walls, because one overload lasts 5 minutes and also so does the prayer rune wall. So then I'll take my unicorn, the scrolls, also the cape can go up. Then you'll need a anti-poison. You can either use just anti-poisons, or I always use a Senview because it also restores your prayer and your stat restore. So that's useful. Then I always take another 5 brews in my inventory. And then I also take a helm switch, but this is optional, you don't have to do this. But a warrior helm is cheap and also useful. And then I'll take the rest of my super restores. Oh yeah, and diamond bolts, because you'll need diamond bolts at the end of the phase. So this is a basic setup for me. If I go 4 or 5-man next. Also you'll need an aura, by the way, I forgot to tell that. I have a penance aura which allows me to restore my prayer for every hit I receive. It restores 20% of the hit on my prayer. So that way I can use less super restores. So this is a basic setup for me. But it always depends on how you play, so I can't say this is the setup for you, but you'll just have to play with the setups a bit, do a few next rip and see what's the best inventory for you compared to the brews and the restores count. So that's about that. Oh, and just a quick note, I just forgot, spec recovers are also needed in a smaller team. So spec recovers, you always have to drink one after you spec at the first phase, so you can take up to 3 or 2 spec recovers, that should be fine. So I almost forgot that, so this is about right. So we quickly move over now to getting the frozen key, which is needed in order to enter the next ancient prison. So I'm running out of the 50 minutes time, so I'll make this a fast guide. Make your up to the Trollheim teleport. You can either make a tab for this or use a normal teleport. And then go to God Wars and enter the dungeon. Now what you need to do is kill the god followers in their strongholds. So in order to get the bonus key, you'll need to go into Benno's stronghold, which you'll need 70 strength for and a hammer. So I'll figure you already have a hammer in your tool belt. And then start killing the Benno's followers, or either the goblins or the ogres. As you can see, I've got my Benno's key in just a few kills. You should be able to get it around 40. It can also take a bit long, but depends on luck. And after that I'll be going to Zemi, so you should do that too. Don't forget, when you try to climb on the shore, you'll need 700 life points left, and also when you climb over it, your prayer will be drained to 0. As you can see, I got my key in my first kill, which is really lucky. Make your way to the Saradomin stronghold and don't forget to use a rope if it's your first time there. And also here is where you need the 70 agility and then kill the spiritual mages or the other monsters in order to get the key. Grab your ranger gear and head over to the Armadillo stronghold, and then don't forget your grapple and kill the fancies for the last key part. I ran out of time on this channel, so click here to see part 2 with killing nags and tactics on my second channel.